Hey everyone! So we're doing a knife review today of what is easily the coolest knife in my collection to date. This is the Kershaw Tyrade model 1850. It is a Ken Onion design and it is USA made. The handles are titanium with this bronze finish on it. I forget what they called the finish, but it was about a half dozen words long and way too much for my little brain to comprehend anyway, so I ain't worried about it. It also has the carbon fiber inlays though on both sides. And this is my first knife to ever have carbon fiber, and I am really digging it so far. Now the first time I showed this knife, one of my watchers had referred to the carbon fiber as being the icing on the cake, which is a perfect analogy, I think, because as sweet as this knife is, it does kind of have that dripping icing off of a cake look to it. On the back, you do have the pocket clip, which may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I like it. I like how it has a Kershaw etched in the clip. I like the overall design of it. It's big, it's different, and I think it suits this knife very well. It is held on by 2 screws, and that clip, where it's at, is what you get. Tip down, right hand carry. That's it. Which I guess isn't too big of a deal breaker if you're left-handed, because you still have the flipper to open the knife. So if you carry it in your left pocket, I guess it's not that big of a deal. But oh, I know I was forgetting something. Let's see. Blade centering is spot on perfect. If I was to be very nitpicky and very anal about it, it is just the slightest bit that way. But I think it's as close to perfect without being perfect, if that makes any sense at all. A very cool feature about this knife is the clean look of it overall, because you're going to notice something about this knife. No thumb studs at all. You open it with that flipper. Another feature that lends itself to the clean factor is here's the screw to loosen or tighten the tension of the blade, but as you can see, there's no more screws or pins anywhere to be seen holding this knife together, which is very cool. They're probably below the carbon fiber inlay, but I just think it's a really cool way of cleaning up the knife. So let's check it out. As you can see, it kicks out with pretty good authority. The blade probably doesn't kick out as hard and fast as the smaller Kershaw knives with the speed safe on it, but this is a very large, very heavy knife, and a blade this size is simply not going to kick out that hard. It is a frame lock. And the frame lock, I would have to say, it's less than halfway there, so I'd say 40%. Which means this knife has not been open and shut very much, at least not in my opinion. And that frame lock is very easy to simply move over and open the knife up. Another thing about this knife that lends to its uniqueness is the fact that it has 2 steels in the blade. The bottom steel here, let me just flip this around. The bottom steel, the darker one, is your CPM D2, and the top darker portion is your 154 CM. Now this D2 steel, I'm not very well versed in different steels and blade shapes and grinds and that stuff, but What I can tell you about the D2 steel is that Spyderco did use it in a sprint run military, so it's got to be good, right? And the 154 CM I know was the cheaper steel out of these two. And Kershaw had said that the reason they used two steels is they wanted to put the more expensive, better quality steel down here and put the cheaper steel up top. They thought that that would cut down on the cost. It would be cheaper to make, therefore the cost of the knife would be a little bit less. However, this is not a cheap knife by any stretch of the imagination. Not with a $350 MSRP on it. This steel, when you run your finger across it, you can feel just a hint of anything over those lines. It's fused together very well. I'm not sure what they used to fuse it together, but it's kind of got a copper tone to it. You can see the Kershaw Ken Onion USA. And on the back there, 1850, patent pending, again, made in USA. I think they went a little overboard on that, but hey, still cool. It's got a very large finger choil here, and it fits my hands very nicely. And I do have big hands. I mean, I wear a 2XL glove, so fits my hands really well. The only thing, it does have some jimping here on the back of the handle. I kind of wish the blade maybe had a little bit as well, because if I was to be using this knife, my hand would wrap around the handle like so, but my thumb would naturally want to go past the handle up here just a bit. So it's probably not the best way of working with a knife, you know, having your thumb pushing down the blade, but it is a frame lock, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's see, this back spacer here, I'm not sure what that is, guys. I really wish somebody could help me out, because I don't see anywhere where that says what it is. I guess it could be G10. I don't think it's aluminum. But I did say this had an MSRP of $350. That's suggested retail. And this knife is no longer made. However, you will not probably need to spend that kind of money on a knife like this. I don't even think I would recommend spending that kind of money on this knife. As much as I like it, I wouldn't. You could probably find this knife on forums for sale and on eBay every once in a while. I bought this one for $210, which I think is a great deal. I would pay $200 for this knife all day long. Let's see. Like I said, it is a very large folder. Overall, you're looking at 8 5/8, I would say. The blade is, let's do it this way. Oh, 3 5/8. Oh, shit, I got it passed out. Closed, you're looking at 5 inches. I did look up the weight of this knife. This knife is tipping the scales at a very, very hefty 6.7 ounces. So that's a 6.7 ounce knife, a 5-inch closed folder, riding in the pocket. That would be a deal breaker for some people, at least when it comes to EDC purposes. However, I have carried this knife a couple of times before I retired it to be a safe queen. And I am a big guy, so the weight of this knife and the overall size does not bother me the least. Couple reasons I made this knife a more collector's piece is simply because I would be too nervous about the carbon fiber inlays over time coming loose. I don't know if that's an issue that I need to have or a worry that I need to be worrying about, but it is in the back of my mind. But also just the price tag of this knife and the fact that they don't make it anymore, I just want to keep it in as best a shape as I can. That doesn't mean I'll never carry it again. It simply means that it will be very limited. So that's my review, guys, of these, almost said Spyderco. That's my review of the Kershaw Tyrade 1850. And I do want to mention another shout out, guys. I was absolutely dumbfounded when I checked out this guy's channel and saw the number of subs that he had, because they are so much lower than what I thought he deserved. He deserves so much more. He has a bunch of videos out. They're really, really good. He's a good guy. He's always commenting. He's always got a kind word for people. And the guy I'm talking about is Jeff Hardy 4499. So in the description bar, I am going to leave a link to his channel. I'll probably leave some specs about the knife as well in the description. But I'd really appreciate it if you go over there, check out his channel, at least give him a chance. If you like what you see, sub him, send him a friend request, and sit back and enjoy the videos. So that's it, guys. That's my video for the day. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here. Bye.